Explanation of the Whispered Prayer of the Seekers, Lesson 4, written by Mansoureh Mohammed Kazem al-Kharani. And join us with your servants who hasten toward you in eagerness, who constantly knock at your door, who worship you day and night, and who stand in awe of your majesty. In this passage, the words of Imam al-Sajjad, peace be upon him, express a profound plea, not merely to be counted among the righteous, but to be joined with the caravan of those who have drawn near to God. The Imam portrays the seekers of God as people of high aspiration, unwavering consistency, continuous devotion, and reverent awe. It is as though the path toward God is only complete when these four pillars are united: swift turning toward Him, persistence in seeking, constancy in servitude, and a khof, fear, infused with deep reverence and magnification. The word join us, al-hekna, carries a subtle and powerful meaning. It implies bringing something into the company of another after it was not originally among them. The Imam does not say, make us among them, but rather, join us with them, as if humbly acknowledging the loftiness of this maqam, station. He recognizes that a servant cannot attain such a rank through personal effort alone. It requires divine grace and lutf, gentle favor. Thus, the phrase can be understood on multiple levels. Join us with them in rank, grant us a share of their maqam. Join us with them in path, let our journey resemble theirs. Join us with them in outcome, resurrect us among them. Join us with them in companionship, for spiritual companionship is one of the greatest sources of steadfastness on the path. For the journey toward God is not an isolated endeavor. Rather, it is deeply dependent on the companionship of the Allah, the people of God. The Imam then says, with your servants. He does not say your friends or your beloved ones, but instead uses the word your servants. This choice is profoundly precise. It indicates that the entire path is rooted in servitude, ubudiyah. The highest maqam of the perfected human being is to be a true servant of God. Indeed, when God describes his noble messenger, he says, his servant and his messenger. Every maqam that lacks true servitude may be nothing more than a claim, but once servitude is firmly established, all other stations follow. Who are these servants? What defines them? They are those who hasten toward God, remain constantly at His door, persist in uninterrupted worship without weariness, and fear Him with a fear born of awe and reverence. A true servant must embody these qualities. Then the Imam elaborates, those who hasten toward you with eagerness. The term bidad implies a praiseworthy urgency, a refusal to procrastinate. Meanwhile, yusari'un, they hasten competitively, is more intense than simply yusri'un, they hurry, because it carries the sense of striving, racing, and overcoming obstacles. It is as if they are in a race against everything that distances them from God. The dunya, world, the nefs, ego, heedlessness, prolonged hopes, bad habits, laziness, and the love of comfort. There are also deeper possible interpretations of bidad: hastening before death arrives, hastening before the heart hardens, hastening before the soul loses its spiritual inclination, hastening before sins accumulate, hastening before disobedience transforms into a fixed inner trait. Thus, this phrase is not merely a description, it is a call to urgency, a reminder that the opportunity for nearness is fleeting, and that delay is one of the greatest veils between the servant and his Lord. And the phrase, they hasten toward you. They do not hasten merely toward the outward form of actions that indicate worship and devotion. Rather, their swift movement is directed toward you, meaning that the goal is not the act in itself, but a rival unto God. This is what distinguishes between one who multiplies deeds and one who truly journeys with God and toward God. The noble Quran expresses this very meaning when it says, and hasten toward forgiveness from your Lord. That is, the seeker does not walk toward God with cold indifference, but rather flees toward Him, as he says. So flee to Allah, meaning flee to Him from everything other than Him. Then He, peace be upon Him, says, and at your door they constantly knock. In the Arabic language, knocking at the door means striking it in request of it being opened, and it is used metaphorically for persistence and insistence in seeking. The meaning here is that these servants do not visit the door of God in passing, rather, they remain steadfast at the door. The phrase constantly, ala al-dawam, carries a crucial implication. It negates seasonal worship. That is, worship limited to Ramadan, or confined to times of hardship and distress, or like the one who disconnects from God for periods and then returns sporadically. The perfected servant is the one who remains at the door of God in ease and hardship, in energy and fatigue alike. For continuity in the path means the continuous removal of veils. The word door here also carries multiple possible meanings. It may refer to the door of supplication, or the door of repentance, or the door of sincere worship, or the door of divine mercy, or the door of spiritual faith, overflow, and grace, or even the door of God's chosen ones, whom He has made as gateways to His obedience. Then He, peace be upon Him, says, and you alone they worship, by night and by day. The precedence of you alone, iyaka, indicates exclusivity, meaning, in reality, they worship none but you. For many people outwardly worship God, yet their hearts are devoted to praise, status, fear of others, or the desire to maintain a pleasing religious image. But these seekers, their worship is directed to you alone. As for the phrase by night and by day, it holds several layers of meaning. The literal sense, they truly worship during both night and day. Total temporal continuity, they never cease worship at any time. All states as worship. Their night is intimate seclusion with God, and their day is service and obedience. Symbolic meaning, night represents the inner dimension and day the outward. Thus, they worship God inwardly, in the secrecy of their hearts away from people, drawing near through hidden states, and outwardly through visible righteous actions and deeds. In this way, their entire existence, both inward and outward, becomes an unbroken act of devotion directed solely toward the divine. Then He, peace be upon Him, says, and they are in awe of your majesty. Heba, awe, is not mujarrad fear. Rather, it is a fear infused with reverence, magnification, and deep veneration. A person may fear something he dislikes, but he stands in awe of what he perceives as truly majestic and azim. As for ishfaq, trembling concern, it is a subtle, gentle fear, one that carries attentiveness, care, and inner hassasiyah. It is not blind terror, but a state of awakened awareness that makes the servant cautious of falling into nuqs, shortcoming. Thus, this phrase does not imply despair or hopelessness. Rather, it indicates that their hearts are finely attuned and sensitive before the divine majesty. They are concerned about falling short before His greatness, concerned about being veiled from Him, concerned about su'ul adab, improper conduct in His presence, concerned because, having recognized His majesty, they see their own selves and deeds as small and insufficient.